Morning, everybody. I forgot to turn my phone off, so I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Welcome to A Deeper Connection. Today we are doing a class called the I'm Sorry Challenge. So this is for anybody who tends to say I'm sorry all the time. Even if you're standing in the grocery store aisle and looking at a product and somebody walks by, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Or, if you're late and then you come in to the thing, oh, I'm sorry for being late, or I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that. That's really what today's discussion is about. And we're going to wait a few minutes for people to show up. I had a few people saying that they would like to join us live. And then we'll get started. I will save this video onto A Deeper Connection so anybody can watch it at any time. I know today it's a beautiful day here in Chicago, so people may be out and about enjoying the lovely weather, which I don't blame them. I'm going to go do that as well after I get off this video chat. But in the meantime, we'll talk a little bit about maybe the classes that are coming up. I've been doing some free live classes on A Deeper Connection 3 times a week for the past 2 months. So there's plenty of videos saved right on the news feed of A Deeper Connection. And you can, I want to say you can watch them anytime, but they're not for watching. They're actually for participating in. And if you start to participate and do some of the movements and the breath work that I share with everybody in the classes, you're going to really start to notice your vibration rising. You're going to feel better emotionally. You're going to feel better physically. And that really helps us then to manage what we are attracting, because the law of attraction is working all the time. And it works depending on what you're focusing on. So if you're one of those types of people who is always focusing on the problem, like, oh, I lost my job. Oh, I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Oh, I don't, lost, can't, what am I going to do, problem, victim, all that stuff, you're just going to attract more of the same thing, because that is a very low frequency you're vibrating at. And if you stay focused on what you don't have, you're going to get more of the same. So if you focus on the solution to the problems that we all have problems. I have problems as well. I don't really call them problems. I call them challenges. And that's, part of what we're talking about today is the vocabulary that we use. My son, he's also very insightful about these kinds of things, and he had mentioned to me a couple years ago about the word spelling, and how the word spelling interacts with the spells we cast, right? So what spells are you casting by the words you're using, or the the thoughts you're thinking? They're spells that, if you're constantly saying I can't, or it's hard, or I'm trying, or I'm sorry, you're really sending those self-defeating messages to your subconscious, and that's going to lower your vibration. And the law of attraction, as I said, it's working all the time. And if you're vibrating at a lower frequency, you're going to attract things that are from a lower vibration. That's just the natural law. And so it's important to come into our conscious awareness of the words we are using and the spells we are casting through the thoughts we think, and then changing our focus and our intention and attention to what we're doing. And that's why I put together this class today called the I'm Sorry Challenge. Right? I'm sorry is so overused. People are sorry for just simply existing at this point. They're sorry for standing in the grocery store aisle, or coming out of an elevator, or walking out of a hallway. Oh, I'm sorry. There's no reason to be sorry for you to be doing any of those things. You have just as much right to be in the grocery store aisle or coming out of the elevator as anybody else does. So there's no reason to be sorry. You're not in the way. You're really making yourself to be more of a problem than you really are. And that's the problem with saying I'm sorry all the time. Now, of course, if you step on somebody's toe, or you crash into their car, or something like that, you can be sorry. You can also say I apologize, please forgive me. You don't have to be dumping I'm sorry all over the place, because as I said, that lowers our vibration. So it's okay to apologize for something that you did, by accident, that you created some whatever circumstance for yourself or the people around you, and it's okay to be apologetic for that, but not to be sorry just because you're going into a door when somebody else is coming out of a door, or you're standing in the aisle looking at something when somebody passes by. There's so many. Sometimes I don't even like to go to the out in public because everybody's just throwing up I'm sorry's all over the place, and it just hurts my heart, and that really gets to be exhausting for a while. But I have learned to put up my shield, and that's what we do in the classes that we've been doing 3 times a week during the week, is to learn how to put up a shield so that we can manage everybody's energy that's around us. So today we're not going to talk about putting up a shield. If you want to learn how to do that, you can join us for the classes coming up this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 o'clock. They're live and they're free, and we learn all kinds of great things on how to make ourselves feel better. But today we're really just going to talk about the words we use and the spells we cast, right? Usually I teach this class and I call it the spells we cast, understanding the power of our words. But today I wanted to change it up a little bit because sometimes that title doesn't resonate with people and they're like, what are you talking about? Some kind of weird witchy magic stuff. So basically, the picture of this class said your body hears everything that your mind thinks. And that's really important to understand. When you're constantly thinking self-defeating thoughts, it really hinders your physical and emotional health. Saying things like I'm trying, right? I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to start working out. I'm trying to learn how to cook. I'm trying to find a job. I'm trying to find a relationship. I'm trying. Every time you say the word try, it sends a self-defeating message to your subconscious. And you just feel so bad about yourself because you've been trying to lose weight, or you've been trying to quit smoking, or you've been trying to eat healthy. For how many years? For how long have you been trying to do all these things, right? So changing the word trying to doing my best. I'm doing my best, right? That really raises your vibration, because now you're sending that you're not sending a self-defeating message to your subconscious. You're sending a message to your subconscious that you're doing your best. And if you keep saying, I'm doing my best to lose weight, I'm doing my best to eat healthy, I'm doing my best to quit smoking, I'm doing my best to find a job, I'm doing the best I can, that is really going to raise your vibration. Now, it takes a while. You have to be committed to this process. If you say you're doing your best only once a week or twice a week, and the rest of the week you say you're trying, you're overriding the good work that you're doing by falling back into your bad habits. And 95% of the decisions we make come from our subconscious, which is conditioned into us from the time we're born till we're almost 6, 7, 8 years old. So we have to become aware of the words we're speaking and the thoughts we're thinking, so that we can change what we're saying and thinking from on a subconscious level. So if you don't have a piece of paper or a pen, I recommend you go grab something, because I'm going to give you some hints as to what you can do to change some of the patterns that you may be stuck in. And these are all techniques that I've used in the past. I used to be just as sorry as everybody else out there, and I used to be just trying hard. I'm really trying hard. Oh my gosh, why do you want to try hard? Hard is just, wood is hard, right? The wall is hard, rocks are hard. You don't want to try hard. That is just going to really create a problem for you. So instead of trying, you can say, I'm doing my best, right? I'm doing my best to join the class every other day. I'm doing my best to do these techniques throughout my day. I'm doing my best to be aware of the words I'm saying, right? So as you keep saying, I'm doing my best, it starts to make you feel better, and you feel better about yourself because you're doing your best. And then once you do that for a couple of weeks, you'll start to see the weight come off. You'll start to see it easier to make some friends. You'll start to be easier to change your diet, or whatever it is you're working on. I mean, we all have stuff that we're challenged with, and we're wanting to change in our lives. So taking a more positive spin on it, focusing on the solution rather than the problem, is really going to help you to release the subconscious patterns that you find yourself in. All right, so for I'm sorry, you can use the word thank you. So every time you want to say I'm sorry, you just switch it for thank you, right? So if you're late, for an example, how many people have been, waiting for someone in a group so that the group can get started, the class can get started, you can, all get in the car and go somewhere, and somebody is late, right? And they're late, and they're so late, and they're 15 minutes late and 20 minutes late, and then they finally get there, and then they dump this "I'm sorry" all over the place. "Oh, I'm so sorry, and there was so much traffic, and my cat, didn't whatever, and then I had to clean up after the dog, or my kids were whatever, and I'm sorry, and I'm so sorry." And here's everybody waiting for this person, and they're just dumping sorries everywhere, and everybody's just like, "Shut up, let's go, you're late, we're ready to go," right? So instead of dumping all that "I'm sorry" and all those excuses, which they could be very legitimate excuses, instead of all that, you just come in and say, "I'm sorry." Sorry, I'm not sorry. You just come in and say, "Thank you. Thank you for waiting. I really appreciate it. It's been a tough morning, but now I'm here, so let's go. Let's get this party started," right? So expressing gratitude rather than sorry is going to make a whole different vibration in the group who is waiting for you. They're going to see you in a different light because you're not throwing up "I'm sorry's" all over them. You're showing appreciation and gratitude for their patience. So it brings you up to a much higher vibration, a much higher level of appreciation from the people who have been waiting for you, right? So instead of "I'm sorry," thank you. Whenever you can, exchange "I'm sorry" for "thank you," please go ahead and do that. "Thank you for waiting. Thank you, I appreciate it," right? And showing that gratitude. Gratitude is one of the best ways to get grounded and to raise your vibration, right? We all have so much to be grateful for. Even in these, tough times, we have a place to be. We have a house to be that's safe. We have food to eat. The grocery stores are open. There's so much to be grateful for. If you have shoes and clothes, if you have a shower and a bed, you have much more than most people in the world. Most people in the world, 75% of the people in the world live in impoverished conditions. So it's really important to remain grateful for the things that we do have. So "I'm sorry" can be replaced by "thank you," and start to become aware. If you have other people in your home, other people around you, that you live with, put the "I'm sorry." It's like a swear jar, right? Every time someone says "I'm sorry," they got to put $1 in or a quarter or whatever it is, call each other out. It's really important. And, if you have kids, this is great. Kids love to call you out. I used to do this with my son, and I would say, if you hear Mom saying "I'm trying" or "I'm sorry," make sure you call me out and say, "Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear yourself?" And with my students and my clients, they're like, "Oh, well, I'm trying to get there." And I'm like, "You're what?" Oh, people don't even know that they're saying "I'm trying" or "I'm sorry," because again, it's from our subconscious. It's conditioned, how we've been conditioned to believe, right? There's even that story, or I think I can know. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. No, if at first you don't succeed, just go do it, right? Because if you keep trying and trying again, you're just setting yourself up for trying and trying again. So it's really important to become aware of the words you're saying. Another word that people use so all the time is "I hope." Hope is not a strategy. Hope is there for the lowest of the lowest desperate times. If you are living in a refugee camp, or if you are homeless or whatever, that is a place. Hope is a place to start. It's still not a strategy, but it's a place to start. If you have hope, you can raise your vibration and start to move ahead, rather than if you don't have any hope, right? Having no hope is no good at all. But always saying, "I hope I can do this. I hope I can be there. I hope, hope, hope." Hope is not a strategy. It's not really going to get you anywhere unless you're really at your rock bottom. Then hope is something that will help you take a step up. So getting that word kind of, out of your vocabulary, like, "I hope you feel better," right? Hoping they feel better is not going to make them feel better. But instead of saying "I hope you feel better," you could say, "I'm sending love and healing energy to you." Way better than "I hope you feel better." I'm actually sending love and healing energy to you. That's an action. That's a positive. That's what they will receive, that love and healing energy. Another word that people, I hate that. I hate this. I hate them. Hate is not going to get you anywhere. As a matter of fact, every time we say "I hate," we lower the vibration, not only of ourselves, but of of earth, of the humanity here on earth, right? And there's plenty of people who we can think that we can hate, right? There is the people who are the war guerrillas of war, whatever they're called. There's the people who are rapists. There's the people who are sex slaves. They're traders, who have the sex slaves. There's politicians that we can say we hate. There's our sworn enemies, and the Taliban, and all kinds of people out there to hate. But the more hate we have, the more we lower our vibration. So it's really important to love, right? And I mean, I'm not a Christian, but I definitely respect the teachings of Jesus, and he's one of my favorites to really use for inspiration. He's all about unconditional love. We have to have love for even the worst of the worst in society. We have to love them. It's not that we agree with them, and it's not that we even like them. But if we don't love them, they don't even stand a chance. They're never going to stand a chance. As long as we keep hating, they don't stand a chance. So if we can accept them and give some unconditional love to them, that will help them then to slowly make some changes. And it might not be this generation, and it may not be the next generation, but the more all of us raise our vibration in unconditional love, the more love we create on the planet. And the more love we create, we start to pull the negative people along with us into love. And this will take some generations to do, right? So being in acceptance and in love with everybody, and just having that love for everybody, is really going to help to raise the vibration, and eventually help the lowest of the low people to raise their vibration as well. We can't expect them to do the work. They're not there. They're nowhere there. They're not near it. They don't even think of that they want to do it, right? Because they're not even really aware of what they're creating, or what they're attracting, or what they're manifesting. So it's important for us to do it. So if anybody has any questions about, what you can do to substitute one thing for the other, I ask everybody to get a pen and paper, because there are some things here that I've been sharing with you. But one of the things that I did when I first started to become aware of my language was I wrote down everything that I was trying, or sorry, or, what was hard. Saying things are hard is really going to make it difficult for you to achieve them, because hard is a wall or a rock, right? It's hard to get through a rock. It's hard to get through a wall. But if you say that it's challenging, then you're up for a challenge, and it makes it a little easier to get through the issue. So if you have anything that you're struggling with, or you want some word substitutes for, please go ahead and, type it in. I'm more than happy to, engage and answer any questions. So take a moment to think about, I'm trying to lose weight. Oh, you're welcome. So let's just say I'm trying to lose weight. Okay, so you've been trying to lose weight, and I want you to write down the words or the sentences that you keep saying that you're trying to do. Whatever you've been trying to do for the last 2 months, 2 years, 20 years, whatever. I'm trying to do this. I've been trying to do that. I hope to do this. Whatever it is, start writing down all those things that you've been trying or wanting to accomplish. And then what you're going to do is, in next to it or underneath it, you're going to write the same sentence without the word try, right? So that's really important, is to become aware of all the places where you're trying, or where you're sorry, or where, you have these disempowering thoughts, and start writing them down. I had probably a good 15 of 15 different statements on my paper when I did this exercise originally. And I really was like, wow, no wonder I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm trying to do this, and I'm, challenged with doing that, and I'm, sorry for doing this. And really what you do is you write all that down, and then you take the word try out and replace it with, I'm doing my best, right? I'm trying to lose weight. No, I'm doing my best with losing weight. I'm doing my best with jogging, right now. And I know a lot of you know me, a lot of you don't know me. I had a very terrible car accident at the end of 2018. I'm really grateful to even be alive here today. But my foot is, challenged at the moment, and it's been over a year and almost a year and a half now that I've been with this. But I don't complain about it, and I don't say, well, it's so hard, and I can't walk, and I mean, I can walk a little bit. I can walk, around the house. I can walk to the car. I can walk around the grocery store, but I can't go hiking. And hiking is like one of my passions, right? So I don't focus on the fact that I can't go hiking. I focus on how can I go hiking, right? So every day I do my physical therapy. Every day I've been through 4 rounds of physical therapy in 1 year. And that is a lot of physical therapy. I mean, most people go through maybe 1 or 2 rounds in a year. So I just keep on keeping on, right? And when people ask me, how am I could easily say, people say, how you doing? I could easily say, well, my life sucks. I can't hike. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I can barely walk. I got pain in my foot every day, right? So if I start spewing all that out, it is going to bring me down that rabbit hole of negativity. So when people ask me, how are you doing? I say, I'm getting better every day. What a great mantra. I'm getting better every day, even if it's just a little teeny bit. But every day I'm getting better. And I keep telling myself, I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better every day. Everybody asks me, I'm getting better every day. So when you keep saying that you're getting better every day, rather than I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, I'm tired, I'm whatever, all those negative things, you just keep telling everybody, I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better every day. And I guarantee you and promise you, you will get better every day. Whether it's, a foot that you're healing, or your emotional mental states, or you're practicing meditation, and, oh, I'm trying to meditate. How many people are trying to meditate? If you keep trying to meditate, you're not going to meditate, right? But if you keep practicing meditation and you tell yourself, well, I'm getting better every day, believe me, in a week or two, you will be able to meditate, because you're telling yourself you're getting better every day. You're not telling yourself, oh, I'm trying, but it's really hard. Right? It's hard. You're not going to get through something if it's hard, right? So you're getting better every day. It's a little challenge, but you keep working on it and you keep raising your vibration. All right. So we covered I hate, which, we really want to cover I love. If you don't like something, you can certainly say I don't like that, but don't say I hate it. Hate will just, bring that negative energy into your body. Remove hate from your vocabulary, remove hate from your life, remove hate from your energy field. Just don't hate anything anymore. It doesn't mean like I said, it doesn't mean you have to like it, but you don't want to hate. And we covered I hope, and I'm trying, and I'm sorry, right? And I know some people have come on recently, and they missed the whole I'm sorry part with the exchanging thank you for I'm sorry. But I can't keep repeating stuff. So if you're interested really in, the whole sorry thing, just rewind the video. It'll be saved here on A Deeper Connection, and you can watch it from the beginning. Another thing I want to talk about is the I am, right? I am instead of, I'm trying. Trying, again, self-defeating, sends those messages to the subconscious. But I am are the two most powerful words that you can use in your body. I am puts it into being, right? I am is actually what you're being. So I am grateful. I am doing my best. I am getting better every day, right? So start to become aware. And again, write down, take a paper today, write down all the things that you have been failing at, that you haven't been accomplishing, or haven't been doing the best that you would like to do. And then keep a space underneath to rewrite that sentence, and take the word try or the word sorry or whatever it is, what it's hard, take that out and replace it. Being a victim, I'm a victim as well. I used to be a victim. I'm not a victim anymore, but I was sexually abused from the time I was 8 to the time I was 12. And then I was raped when I was in my, 20s. And I was really feeling the victim energy for a long time. But then, we raise our awareness, and victims can turn into survivors. And a survivor is much more powerful than a victim. So if you've gone through, layers of things, which we all have, it, not necessarily even has to be sexual abuse. It could be physical abuse. It could be emotional abuse. It could just be, not even having a good family to be like no good role models in your lives, right? If you don't have a good mom, it's hard to be a good mom. If you don't have a role model, you really have to work on it and find some people to teach you how to be a good mom. So, changing your role from a victim to a survivor is going to raise your vibration, and again, change what's happening in the universe. And there's a story I'd like to share with you. So there was a woman who was looking for a partner, right? A relationship, a love partner in her life, and she couldn't find anyone. She couldn't find anyone, and so she was definitely working on her energy and keeping it high in a vibration. And the universe starts to notice when you start to raise your vibration. If you only raise your vibration, 20 minutes on the weekend and then go back to your whole negative energy throughout the week, the universe is basically going to notice what the majority of the time you're spending, right? If you're spending the majority of your time in negativity, the universe is recognizing you as being a negative person, and that's what it's going to feed you, right? So if you can now become aware of your negative energy and your negative thoughts and choose to think positive instead, the universe is going to take note and all of a sudden go, oh, this person is being more positive. This person is opening to receiving. This person is working on, accomplishing things by looking at the solution rather than the problem. But it takes a couple weeks, right? The universe is busy. It's got a bazillion things to do out there, right? Or God, if you prefer the word God, right? It's the same thing. God will help you if you take the steps to help yourself, right? If you don't take the steps to help yourself, God will, give you life, and that's about it, right? Keeps you alive, but doesn't really help you to move ahead. So whichever way your perspective is, it really, the point is to stay positive. So this woman was staying positive about finding a relationship, but she worked at a place where the coworker just constantly was getting her down, right? Talking about this and that and the other thing. So, there was a man out in California who also was looking for somebody, and he was working on keeping his vibration high. And these two people didn't know each other, but they were both working on keeping their vibration high, and they were both looking at manifesting a partner. So now the universe is like, oh, this man would be perfect for this woman. All right, so this woman's in Chicago, this man's in California, but this man had to come to Chicago for a business trip, right? And this woman had a plan that night to go out with her girlfriends, and this man was just going to happen to be at that same bar where this woman was going to be. Now, the universe had set this all up. The universe is like, okay, this guy's perfect for this girl. Let's put them together, and they're going to meet tonight at this bar. And, he's keeping his vibration high, and she's keeping her vibration high, and they're going to be a perfect match. That day, the woman's co-worker brought her down, so down. She's like, oh, I'm not going to go out with you girls. You guys just go out. I'm going home. So she had been working on keeping her vibration high consciously for, 2-3 weeks, a month. And this guy had been working on, and the universe was just about to put them together when, bam, she dropped her vibration, decided not to go, and lost her opportunity to meet her perfect partner. So that's why it's so important to maintain a high vibration, because you never know what the universe or God has in store for you, right? And if you check out of your positive vibration and you start to go back down that rabbit hole, you could just have missed exactly what it is you were wanting to manifest by giving up or giving in. So it's really important to stay focused on the words you're saying, what, the thoughts you're thinking. Because your thoughts, your body hears everything your thoughts are thinking. So if I was thinking all the time about, oh my gosh, my poor foot, and I'm never going to go hiking again, and oh my gosh, I hate that person who hit me in the car, and I hate my life, and I hate this, and I can't, right? All that hate is never going to heal my foot. It's just going to keep it bad. So if I focus on, I'm getting better every day I'm getting better. And it may not be at the rate that I'd like it to be, because I'd like to just be better like that and go back to walking barefoot. I was a big barefoot walker. Every day I would walk barefoot, and barefoot walking is so great for your energy. Right now, I can barely walk barefoot. I mean, I can go around a little bit and put my feet in the grass and maybe stand up in the ground, but I can't go barefoot walking. I can't walk. I can't walk a mile. I can't walk half a mile. I can't even walk a quarter of a mile at this point, right? So I really have to focus on what I can do rather than what I can't do. And that's what this I'm sorry challenge is about, right? It's to stay focused on not being so sorry all the time, because sorry is a very low vibration. Unless, again, like I said in the beginning, of course, if you've really done something, you crashed in someone's car, you stepped on someone's toe, you turned around and you hit them with the whatever you were carrying, those are reasons you can say I apologize or I'm sorry. But other than that, stepping out of the elevator or coming down the stairs or standing in the grocery store aisle, you have nothing to be sorry about. And somebody once told me, if you keep saying you're sorry, you're just going to be a sorry ass being. And I know I didn't want to be a sorry ass being, so I immediately took that word out of my vocabulary. So the challenge is for you to, write down some statements that you always are saying over and over again to yourself, to your children, to whoever it is that you're talking to, even in your mind. Write down those negative statements and then write the positive statement underneath, right? So instead of I'm sorry I'm so late. I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I, walked in front of you. Just say thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that you're waiting for me. Thank you for, being patient, always exchanging the I'm sorry for the I thank you, and I'm grateful, things like that. So, forgiveness is something that we need to do in order to heal. And I had to forgive the people who did wrong to me, right? As I mentioned, I was sexually abused as a child. And for many years, I just could not forgive that person because I was just a child. I mean, I didn't really even know any better. I was 8 years old when it started. Um, and I had done so much work growing up, and I had a very tumultuous teenage years, and even in my 20s it wasn't great, but I kept on doing the work, and I realized that as long as I was holding on to the anger, it really wasn't hurting that person, it was hurting me, because that person could care less. Obviously they could care less from the beginning, so they don't really care what I think about them. They're living their life. I'm not even a thought in their mind. So I realized that all that anger and that hate, again, was just making me feel low. And this was I've realized this, it's been over 20 years now. So it's been a long time for me to actually go through this process of letting go. But I found a quote that really resonates with me, and I share it with everyone. I'm going to share it with you. So if you want to write it down, forgiveness is the act of retrieving your soul and bringing it into the present moment. Forgiveness is the act of retrieving your soul and bringing it into the present moment. Right? So what happened to me happened when I was 8 years old, and I'm in my 50s now, so 40 years ago. And if you're still holding on to that victim of whatever happened 40 years ago, you're really in no better place now than you were 40 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago or even yesterday. Right? As long as you keep holding on to what happened, that is going to keep your vibration low. So forgiveness doesn't mean that you accept what they did. It doesn't mean that you agree with what they did. It just means that you're bringing your soul back into right now, so that you're not feeling that energy of that anymore. That doesn't even exist. The present moment is today. That was 40 years ago. So it's not even happening right now, right? It's like almost another lifetime. To me, I've actually come to the point where I'm grateful for the abuse, because the experience has led me to help other women who have been sexually abused, and not just women, men as well. When I first started my own private practice helping people, I thought, maybe 40% of women have been sexually abused. And I thought 5% of men, or some little small number. But as the Me Too movement has come out now, it's the numbers are ridiculous. People who have come to me for help with sexual abuse, it's probably like 80% of the women who have come to me have been sexually abused, and like 40% of the men have been sexually abused. So it's a way higher number than I imagined, and I'm really grateful to be able to meet people where they're at, because I really understand what they're feeling, and to help them through the process of healing through that. So, I've become grateful for that, but I'm very far removed from it as well. I mean, again, it was 40 years ago. It wasn't a quick turnaround for me to do that. It takes a lot of work. And if you're feeling anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've started to see people again to help them. So, forgiving is releasing yourself from that trauma, from that drama, and that doesn't mean that you're accepting what they're doing. Karma is a bitch, and so people will get their payback, not necessarily from you. It's not your responsibility to pay them back. You don't want to stoop to their level. They'll get what's coming to them eventually, somehow, and we just have to have faith and move on. That comes back to the word hate, which we addressed earlier, and unconditional love. And, when I was talking about that, I failed to mention the word oneness. And oneness is really the term that can help us understand why we have to keep a positive and high vibration. Oneness is a real thing. We're all one. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Catholic, whether you're Jewish, it doesn't really matter. In the end, it's all the same thing, right? We all breathe the same air. We all bleed the same. We all live and die. Our belief systems really don't matter in the end. The oneness of who we are is what's happening on Mother Earth. And so if people who are more aware, like us, who understand positivity, who understand maybe unconditional love, or at least have a concept of it, if we can't love unconditionally, then the negative people and the bad people of the world certainly aren't going to get there. So it brings us back down to that energy of the oneness, right? And we're in this transition stage now between the Piscean age and the Aquarian age. And the Piscean age was an age where we followed the leader, right? It's like, he knows best, he knows what to do, so we're going to follow him. You tell me what to do, and I'll do my best, and they'll do their best, and then we'll make it all happen, right? But that's not what the Aquarian age is about. The Aquarian age is about knowing how to do what's best for you, and then, sure, there's going to be some kind of a leader or an organizer who sets things up and puts things into motion, but they don't have to necessarily tell us what to do exactly. We know what to do. We just have to have faith in ourselves and do it, and that's more of the Piscean age, right? It's like coming into our own power, becoming more equals with people. Nobody's better, nobody's higher, and it's a transition right now. The old timers of the world, the people who are 70s and 80s and their 60s, and not all of them, there's some very enlightened, older people, but, you see the people in politics, I'm just not going to name names, but in politics, who believe that they know best, and it's their way or the highway, and their way is the only way, and that's Piscean age mentality, right? It's not Aquarian age mentality, where the leaders, or I don't even want to call him a leader, he's more like the organizer or the person who has the idea, and then they delegate and they say, okay, you guys do this, you guys do that, and you're in charge of this, but everybody's in charge and doing what they know how to do best. And that's then where we can all come together and create the bigger picture with doing what we do best, right? And so that's Aquarian age, that's oneness, that raises the vibration here on Earth, and that helps the negative people to start to raise their vibration a little bit. And maybe in a couple hundred years from now, we're really going to start to level out and balance the energies of the world, right? It's in a battle right now. The people of the Piscean age, the leaders, the rulers, the ones who want to be in charge, the ones who want to be in control, they are battling right now to maintain control. I mean, I don't really want to call any names, but you can even just look out there in the crisis right now of the immunizations and the healing there's people out there who want to implant microchips and who want everybody to get the shot. And I mean, they're like forcing us into this box. And then there's the other people on the other side who are like, hell no, I'm not going to do that, right? So there's a battle right now between the Piscean age thought way of being and then the Aquarian age way of being. And we're in this time, and it's going to be like this throughout our lifetimes. This is, we're shifting from one age to the other, and that could take a couple hundred years before it really sets in. So, this is the time that we've chosen to be here. So we can either, hold on to the past and into that control, or we can be a bridge. My son calls me the bridge because he's like, you're helping, the new age people and the old people kind of, cross over and help each other. Or, you could just become into the Aquarian age. It depends on your awareness levels and what you're willing to do. So, the challenge of the I'm Sorry challenge is to really start to think about your words and the spells you are casting, whether it's in your mind or whether it's, the words that you actually speak, and changing those up, making sure that you're not, using those words on a regular basis, which will then bring the universe into awareness that you're raising your vibration and you're open to other things. There's another little story I can share with you about being open to receiving. We're always so conditioned to be giving, give, right? Give, but we can't pour from an empty cup. So it's really important to be open to receiving. A few years ago, I don't know, maybe about almost 10 years ago now, I was, I had started my business already for a little while, but I really wasn't making as much money as I wanted to. And so I was kind of aware of it, and I was like, how do I manifest more money into my life, And so I started by thinking, well, I have to be open to receiving. And at that time, I was never really open to people helping me. I carried my gong, and I carried my gong bag and the gong stand, and I would go to classes, and I would take all that, and it would take me like 2 trips to the car back and forth. And people would say, oh, do you need some help? And I'm like, I didn't really want to bother them because they're students and they were paying for the class, but they were offering help. And I was like, oh, no, thanks, I got it, right? So for years, when people offered me help, I would say, oh, no, thanks, I got it. And then I realized these people are offering me help, and if I want to be receiving, I need to be open to receiving. So the next time somebody asked me, do you need some help? I almost caught myself. I almost said, no, thanks, I got it. But I caught myself, and I said, no. I said, oh, yes, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. So now, not only did I only have to make 1 trip from the car, which eased my workload, I also let that person feel better for helping me, right? So I raised my vibration, I raised their vibration because they were feeling helpful and giving, and I was open to receiving. I swear to you, within 2 weeks, I started getting more money into my life simply because I was focused on being open to receiving. So, wherever you are, in your life right now, people are offering you help. Please take this help from people. Don't keep saying, no, I got it. If every time you say, no, I got it, you're sending a signal to the universe that you don't need any help, or to God, right? So if you don't need any help, they're not going to help you. They got other people. The universe has other people. God has other people that are open to receiving that they can go help. If you're not open to receiving, you're on your own, you got this, go for it, right? So be aware of when people are asking to help you, and just say yes, even if you don't need help. Even if you don't need help, just say yes. Let them do something, right? It'll make them feel better. It'll make you feel better. It'll send a signal to the universe that you're open to receiving. And within a week or 2, you're going to start to notice more things coming to you, things that you've been looking to get for a long time, right? So really focusing on being open to receiving. Henry Ford once said, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are right. And that is my motto. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yes, open to receiving. Yay. Yeah, so, that's, Henry Ford never graduated from college. I don't think he even graduated from high school. He said, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are right. So, I can't do that. That's hard. I'm trying. right? I'm sorry I didn't finish it. Oh my gosh, right? Can you guys feel my energy of those four sentences? It made me nauseous just to say those things. I can feel my stomach going, whoa, right? So becoming aware of the words you're using, right? Your mind, the title of the picture on this class said your mind, your body hears everything your mind says. So, I said those four things and my body immediately got nauseous, right? So just think about the things you're saying and the things you're thinking and why your body is reacting the way it is in your life when you're constantly saying these things over and over and over again. And not just that, if you're a mom and you have children, you are teaching your children to be the same thing. Imagine if you could teach your children how to be at a higher vibration so they never really have to experience all the crap that we experience. Like, my son is brilliant. He doesn't have to experience all the crap I experienced growing up because I empowered him with ways. And now he's also teaching me because he's way more in tune to this Aquarian age energy than I am. So if there's any questions or anything you'd like me to address with this talk, I really, would love it if you shared some thoughts, and I will talk about it. I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover in this talk. So yeah, make your list so that you can edit it and become aware of the things that you keep trying to do or the things where you're sabotaging yourself. Rewrite your statements so that when you do start to catch yourself, it's really important to when you catch yourself, to then stop yourself in the middle of the sentence and then go to your new sentence that you created. So I'll share one more little story before we go, since there's really not too many questions going on. When I first started my business, it was like 2008 or 9 when there was that, the stock market crashed and there were no jobs around. And I had lost my job. I was living in a building. Yes, forgiveness for yourself. Absolutely. I had to forgive myself for a lot of things. And that's where you start. Once you forgive yourself, then you raise your vibration and you really start to move ahead more positively. But to finish the story, I had lost my job at that time. I was living in an apartment building where I didn't have to pay rent because I took care of the apartment building. And that was brilliant. I was a single mom. I wanted to be home. When my son was home, I wanted to be able to cook dinner, and I didn't want to be, out working a job. I also had a lot of health issues at that time, so it was really great for me to work in the building that I lived in because I could do my personal work as long as the building stayed clean. I could focus on myself, and that's when I did a lot of this healing. So when the stock market crashed, my boss, or the lady who owned the building, she came to me on a Saturday and she told me she was selling the building on Monday. So that was 2 days. And after that, I was like, oh my gosh, without a place to live, I can't find a job. And without a job, you can't find a place to live. And my whole destiny was in her hands. I was living in her building and working for her, and she was selling the building, and I was going to be out of work and a place to live. So there was no jobs. I couldn't even get a job bagging groceries at Jewel at that time. So I decided that I was going to start my business. And I would tell people, I have to, you have to start working because, the building's getting sold. They're like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm trying to start a business. Right? And so for like 2 or 3 weeks, people were asking me, oh, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I'm trying to start a business. And I was actually trying to start a business. I was, putting it together and trying to start a business. And then a friend of mine, who is now my boyfriend, said to me, well, do or do not, there is no try, right? That's Yoda, quoting Yoda. And I love Yoda, and yoga too. But it really started me thinking and becoming aware of the word try. And so I said, okay, next time somebody asks me, what are you going to do? I'm just going to say, I'm starting a business, right? But, with the habit being what it is, they say, oh, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm trying to, I caught myself using the word try. And no matter how many people I was talking to, I embarrassed myself. And I said, I'm not trying to start a business. I am starting a business, right? And then I would embarrass myself and say, I would call myself out and say, I'm starting a business. And then I would explain why I was calling myself out to save just a little kind of face, and to maybe explain to people and maybe even plant some seeds. That was my intention, was to plant some seeds. And I would say, if you're trying, do or do not, there's no try. It sends a self-defeating message to your subconscious. Every time you use the word try, self-defeating. I'm trying, right? It's right. So I said I'm starting a business, but when you find yourself and you catch yourself using the negative word that you don't want to use, whether it's I'm sorry or I'm trying or I hate or I hope or all those kind of negative words we discussed earlier, there's a technique you can use, and I don't remember. I learned this such a long time ago. You say out loud, cancel, cancel, cancel. 3 times. And when you say cancel, you stop yourself in the middle of your sentence. I'm trying. Oh, cancel, cancel, cancel. You send a signal to the 3 parts of your brain to cancel what you've just said. And then you have to restate your statement. That's why it's important for you to write these things down so that when you catch yourself, you already have the new statement that you want to state. You don't have to think about it too much. You're going to memorize all those new ones, right? So you say cancel, cancel, cancel. I am starting a business. Not I'm trying to start a business, right? I'm starting a business. So I only had to do that 2 or 3 times, and by the time I did that a few times, my ego didn't want to be embarrassed anymore by calling myself out. So then my ego removed that word, and I just started saying I'm starting my business. But I became more and more aware of my words during that time, and then I realized I'm starting a business. I'm starting. Starting is, who wants to go when you're first starting a business, right? Nobody really. So then people asked me, what are you doing? I said, I have my own business. And as soon as I claimed that I have my own business, right? Or I am a holistic health practitioner, then people were like uber interested. Oh, where can I sign up? What do I do? Do you teach classes? Do you see, they were just so interested in what I wanted, because then I wasn't trying and I wasn't starting. I actually claimed it. So that's why it's so important to, write down these statements and really get yourself in order of what are you manifesting? What do you want in your life? Speak your truth, right? Your body hears everything your mind thinks, right? So figure it out. We all have different stuff, and if you need some assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's what I do. I help people, to be more empowered, to move ahead in life, physically, emotionally, and I can definitely help you with that. But that's kind of it for today, and I don't really have any questions. You guys didn't really any questions. I see definitely some inspirational posts there, so I am grateful that you all were able to come and hear this message, and I do your best to do your notes and to change your vocabulary and what you're thinking. This week, coming up on A Deeper Connection, we're going to continue with the classes. This may be the last week. The weather's getting nicer and nicer. People are wanting to go outside. I love you. Thanks, Brianna. So this week the classes will be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 4 o'clock. And if you haven't come to the classes before, please come at 3:45 to get the introduction to the classes, where we're going to talk about the breath work a little bit and how to do the movements in the classes. The movements really help with the physical body as well as the energy body, because we go through the chakra system. So we learn all about chakras and where we're holding energy. And if you want to get an idea of the classes, they're all saved on the news feed on A Deeper Connection. There's tons of information also under notes that I've written over the years, which would maybe be, very inspiring if you're on this process of healing yourself. So go read the notes. There's probably 15 notes on the Deeper Connection community page. And so, that's about it. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Look around on A Deeper Connection community page. I would appreciate it if you started sharing some of the positive inspirational posts. Maybe start a watch party if you're participating in any of the classes, so that other people can get the message. Or just if you have anything that comes up while you're in the process of doing this healing work, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to talk with you via Messenger, or we could do like a live chat or something like that. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Enjoy this beautiful weekend, and we'll see you on A Deeper Connection Tuesday at 3:45 if you want to come early. I love you all. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. Bye.